Guess what? The timer's wrong. The timer's wrong. We're live now. The timer's wrong. It lied. Or more accurately, I did not start the timer at an accurate time. So, the kind of unfortunate news is that the project is very broken. Very, very, very broken. I am currently attempting to salvage it. And we will see how that goes, because it is, at least as of mere moments ago when I was trying to open it, not going to go well. So let's see here. I need to remove oh, there's 1.5 million plugins in this thing. This is terrible. Oh, I thought it was gonna be freaking. What are you on about? Yeah, I know. With that, did you kindly find? There was. And kill that one. I know that's at least one of the problems. And it wasn't even being used. Alright, what are things complaining about down here? There's some things complaining. I mean, it is valid. It's going to auto-renew. I don't know what you're complaining about. Okay. Go away. Okay. So that was one of the plugins that it complained about. What was the other one? Quest system. No. No. Okay, so we can remove the quest system then. There are like 1 million different plugins that all do that now, so it's fine. And let's try to build it now, since those were the two it was complaining about. Let's try to build and see what awfulness happens. Now, if we're very lucky, it won't try to distribute the build to the computer that's currently broadcasting the stream. Yeah, you can plan in a bunch, you're fine. don't need that. There's also this horribleness that is occurring from whatever happened the last time I tried to work with this thing. So I don't even want to know what all this awfulness is about. I'll deal with the source control aspects of that at a later date, I suppose. Can you manage to build, please? Come on, show me progress. What are you doing? Are you distributing the build load? What are you doing? Doesn't look like you are. This wasn't today, was it? No, this wasn't today. This is from, I guess, whatever it last distributed. Terminating Git child process. Why are you even messing with Git? Why? What are you doing? You don't need to mess with Git. Leave Git alone. I don't care what Git's doing right now. Just... Gracious. Not right now. Could you, I don't know, indicate what you're doing? It'd be awesome. Sure seems like you're, like, sitting here twiddling your fucking thumbs. You can make me kill it. All right, fine. I'm gonna regret this, aren't I? Yeah, I guess just do a clean. I probably should have just done a rebuild. Yeah, I know you have a build error. It's because I killed the build. Ridiculous. Jeez. Too many freaking notifications at one time. You just... I don't know what you're doing here, Visual Studio. Other than being... just generally being a nightmare. What in the fresh hell? Alright. Let's cancel the clean then. Let's... Can you do a Visual Studio quick build of Development Editor? Can you manage it? This kind of looks like a repeat of what you were just doing there, Visual Studio. What you doing? Surely you're not going to sit here and spin your heels for... Could you open up on the screen I want you to open up on, please? All right, it'll be fine on that drive for the moment. Hey, it's actually doing something, and it's distributing the build. Now, will it succeed, is the real question. Hey, okay, so it is successfully built. Will you open? Is the real question. Will ye open or will ye be a nightmare? Well, that over a year thing was a rough guess, but some of these files, some of the oldest files in here, there's some content files that were edited in September, it looks like, but that was probably when I was actually trying to get some files out of there for Umberforge. The other oldest files are from like October of last year. So that was a rough guess, but that seems to be right. Of course they are. It's not like I didn't just ask you to do a rebuild. Could it be complaining about the crap in this? Potentially? I wonder if it is, because the modules were built with the version of the engine I'm trying to open them with. So that shouldn't be the problem. Oh, was it not done yet? Did I get overzealous? I saw the rebuild all, 1 succeeded, 0 failed. And thought that meant it was time to run things? Was it not time to run things? Oh. Are you done now? No, you've still got this going. Okay, it is still building assets, so I'll just wait till it's done. Hands off, I suppose. Alrighty, let's see. You still not done building yet? Jeez. Well, at least you're not erroring. Suppose that's a positive. Little victories. Be nice to have like a progress bar on that. Thank you for the follow, Cheesy Doots. You're welcome to just lurk if that's what you want to do. You don't have to chat. I'm sitting here watching code compile right now. Yeah, pretty much. It's an old project. I had not touched it in a little over a year, and it was very broken and wouldn't open. So I'm having to recompile it and then kind of crossing my fingers that when it's all said and done, it can open. And even then, it's entirely unfinished, and I probably have to start a lot of it from scratch at this point. But it's compiling without errors at the moment, at which point I've probably just jinxed it. So at the very least, there's that. So maybe we'll get out of this with something that actually opens. Okay, it's not distributing it, but that's fine. It really doesn't need to on this thing. It'll just take a little bit longer, probably. You have a bachelor's in GA and design. So I have a associate's degree in game and simulation design, and I have a bachelor's in software development that I just finished in March. And I work as a software developer during the day. So naturally, my hobbies are more development. I seem to know how to have hobbies that aren't also work. Yesterday, actually the past 2 days were development streams with for a website. So it's always something. Discord's making noises. Give me a second. Oh, I thought that name looked familiar. Okay, so you're from the Discord. I thought that username looked familiar. I was like, I feel like I've seen that name before. The bad thing is I don't remember exactly how many modules Unreal has to compile for this thing, and it does them out of order. So best of luck figuring it out. And it doesn't, like, Visual Studio doesn't exactly show a progress bar. So we're kind of just sitting here for the moment. Well, so far, the majority of this project in particular has been in what's called Blueprint, which is, if you're not familiar, that's Unreal's scripting system. So while it is technically a form of programming, it's more like dragging a bunch of nodes together and connecting them, each node representing a function in code. You could technically create custom nodes here in code, or if, you know, you're really comfortable programming, you could code everything from scratch. So far, this particular project hasn't really had a lot of from scratch coding. I'm much more comfortable as a web programmer than I am as like a C++ programmer. So I spend more time in Blueprint. So the only work that was done on this is going to be on the Blueprint side of things. I do have, and it's probably going, my computer's probably going to be very mad at me if I try to do this, but we'll see. While that one's compiling, let's see if we can launch. So I was sort of trying things out over the past year of stuff that I was eventually going to implement in this project, and I was doing it in a separate project. So we're going to try to open that one. I just opened it the other day, so it should open. And if it opens successfully, I can at least, while we're waiting on this, show you some of the stuff I've done. It is all Blueprint, and some of it's actually using project templates and stuff that you can get off of the Unreal Marketplace that I've sort of piecemealed together to save myself time. So we'll see if that will open while this is doing its thing. And let me know if the audio is out of balance or something. I can adjust the music volume. It was really quiet yesterday and I didn't realize it. So hopefully I didn't make it too loud. Let's see, is it opening that one in the background, or is it just kind of pretending to? It's trying, I think. It's having a conniption fit about it, but I think it is trying. I am trying to make it open 2 instances of the engine at one time. It's probably not very happy about that. Yeah, they're probably not too dissimilar. In fact, Epic has really changed up their marketplace now. In fact, you can't even get to it in the app anymore. It's this new thing called Fab, and it kind of seems like they merged it with like Sketchfab, and I don't know if it has straight up been a partnership with Unity, but it looks like you can get Unity assets from their Fab Play Store now. I apologize for the flashbang that you're about to get here. Let's see. Unreal Engine Fab Marketplace. Personally, I think this new version of the Marketplace is a nightmare. Partially because since they pulled in stuff from like Sketchfab, there's a lot of stuff that's clearly like a copyright violation. Like there's straight up 3D scans of like Marvel characters and stuff in there. So you can seemingly get Unity assets here on their library now. I'm not 100% sure how that works. Oh, I am not signed in. Give me a moment to do that. That's freaking out here. Could you just stop? Could you just stop? Terabyte GIF, thank you for following. If you want to just kind of lurk, you're welcome to do so. You don't have to chat. Can I get this thing to behave itself, please? I need to get the password for that. That's going to be that guy. And I'm going to need 2-factor code. So give me a moment here to get that. Okay, So now that all that's done. So these are assets that are already in my library. Some are for totally different versions of the engine. I generally just claim whatever's free. So there's probably stuff in here I will never touch because it's not always necessarily what I would consider good. But seemingly you can get Unity stuff on here. Like it's also just as slow as the old marketplace was. There's stuff in here that you can sort by engine. I specifically clicked on Unreal, so everything in here should, pretty strictly speaking, be for Unreal, but I could go into the Unity section and get stuff too. But a lot of times, and maybe they've cleaned it up since the last time I looked, but a lot of times there's like straight up copyright infringement on this thing. Hello, Terabyte GIF. I'm gonna assume it's GIF. But, you know, that's one of those words everybody likes to argue about how it's pronounced. Did this thing decide if it was going to open? Okay, it is actually trying to open. I'm trying to get it to compile one editor and open another, so we'll see how that goes. Oh. Automod tried to get rid of that message for bullying, but I don't think it understood what you were trying to actually say. So I allowed it. Yeah, it is actually admittedly quite worse. It's quite worse compared to the one that was built into the editor. I always hated the one in the editor because, or not in the editor, in the launcher, because the launcher is so slow. It has no reason being that slow, and you kind of are forced to work with it a lot of times. And so it was always a real pain. And there's like, once something's in your library, like a plugin or something, there's no way to really like, you can search by like a phrase, a word, you can filter by like category, but you can't, you could potentially have multiple different engine versions installed. You can't filter by engine version if something's only compatible with certain versions of the engine. And so then you get to like scroll through and try to remember, hey, what is this compatible with? It's a nightmare. And then it's not any better now that it's over on this other website, which still, like, I don't download a file from the website. It still triggers a download in the marketplace. I feel like it's got to have been some kind of like marketing level decision. Some partnership or something. It's especially since it's clearly merged with like Sketchfab or something. Yeah, well, so I don't know if you know this, and it's not necessarily entirely obvious until it crashes on you. That entire launcher is built with the engine. It is literally an instance of the Unreal Engine running. It's basically running a website. There's no reason for that. I don't know why that's how they did it, but it is. It's literally an instance of the Unreal Engine. And the Unreal Engine is great in a lot of ways. That's one of the reasons I use it. But it's also way too heavy for simple things like that. It's also way too heavy for 2D. Like, sure, it can do 2D. It'll look great. But it's way too heavy for it. Like, if you're going to make a 2D game and put it on, like, a phone. At one point, I would have said use Unity. But with Unity's licensing nonsense, at this point, I'd be saying try to learn Godot. But, like, I don't know. I mostly stick with Unreal at this point, and I haven't even moved to 5. I'm still on 4. I'm on the latest version of 4 and using, like, a custom source build, but I stuck with 4 mostly because like I don't need Nanite. I don't need their, what is it, Lumen, their lighting engine. I'm not building at that kind of graphics level. And so I'll just stick with 4. It's actually, as far as I come to understand, way more stable than what the current versions of 5 are. I've been working on it since it was in beta. I was a beta tester for the original version of the engine. And I learned on Unreal 3. Like my associate's degree in game design, we got that. Our classes, a lot of our classes took place using the Unreal 3 version of the third edition of the engine. So, which was admittedly pretty different, but I just am very used to it. I've been using this thing since it was like UDK. I haven't really managed to complete anything with it, but part of that came from having to make a living first. Finally got a little bit of flexibility on that front, and you know, I already spend 8 hours a day programming. Why not spend the rest of my hours programming? So someday, either the one will finish compiling or the other will open, and we'll actually get to look at some stuff. So I am working this thing pretty hard at the moment. I'll show you here in a second. See if I can get Task Manager to want to open. Come on, Task Manager. Yes, I know. I'm asking a lot of you. Come on now. Thankfully, this is not the same machine that's running the stream, so I can't actually break the stream by doing this. Worst case scenario, you might lose my audio for a bit, or we lose the music. Yeah, so my CPU is kind of freaking out right now. Just a little bit. Let's see. Can we get it to logical processors? Yeah, there it goes. It's just, I'm only using about half my memory, but it is working pretty hard to open one instance of the engine and compile another in Visual Studio. We'll see if it can ever get along here. Oh, I think it might be about to open that one. It's getting close. And you know, you mentioned the being interested in the kit bashing of some of the assets. Kit bashing is definitely a word for it. There is some jankiness to the things that I've done in here, and some kind of amusing glitches that I have not worked out the solution for just yet. And that's just talking about the one that this other project that I've sort of been testing things in. I can't even really remember what state I left that original project in. So we'll have to see what we're in for on that one. I'm gonna close the flashbang. Yeah, I'm gonna close that. That was kind of just for the ha-has. And if for some reason you find it particularly interesting to watch long multi-hour streams of somebody mumbling to themselves while developing, even though Twitch gets rid of the VODs, I simul-stream to YouTube, so they are all on YouTube. In fact, this one is going to YouTube right now and usually is available shortly after the stream ends. Depends on how long the stream was. But I keep the Twitch VODs up as long as Twitch will let me. Hey, we have an engine open. Gotta let it finish some caching and compiling of assets and that kind of thing. So probably can't do anything with it just yet. Ooh, that was a sneeze. That's empty. Running out of places on my desk to put things. It's probably a sign that I need to clean it. Oh, geez. It's gone into the background while it's compiling. There we go. That works. Yeah, I know there's an Fmod problem. You are fine. Okay, so... will this thing play properly? And I haven't tested it with my PlayStation controller yet, so let's try that. Nope, it does not recognize the PlayStation controller. That could be for any number of reasons. I don't actually remember if I put controller mappings into this thing yet, to be honest. Let's try. There is an Xbox controller around here somewhere. There he is. Let's try with this guy. That'll tell us for sure. There, okay. There is controller mapping. It's just not mapped for the PlayStation controller because I didn't have one at the time. So, oh dear, what's making noise now? That's probably Visual Studio. So this was me working out basic controls for sort of a Resident Evil 4 style character. Half of the... yeah, we're getting some frame rate issues here. Looks like it. Well, probably because of the compiling that's still going on in the background. Let me turn off the controller because half of these buttons aren't actually programmed. So I can do it with my mouse. Also, let me stop the simulation. Let's figure out what it was complaining about. Okay, who knows what it's complaining about because it didn't tell me. It didn't actually pop up a message. It just made noise. Okay. Okay, let's see if this will play a little smoother. So there's no guns implemented technically. There's a, what is it, this? And then you can kind of do this number here. It doesn't actually shoot because again, it's just an animation. This one is just testing different animation overlays. So like this is an injured walk. And the idea was I had different like courses that you can move around. I'll walk back over here in a second because that stuff is where things get really, really glitchy and broken. Sorry. Boop. Speaking of glitchy and broken, it is currently trying to run things in the background. So I have an inventory system. You can pick up stuff and that goes into your not that one. That goes into your inventory. And it was very much a Resident Evil 4 style like attaché case. So you could open it up and have items. I don't have combining working, but that was the idea. You'd be able to combine items. And it's jumping around. And this is where things get really, really broken. So like, this was a balance beam. These are supposed to be ledges that you can attach to for like climbing around. But the moment I start attaching to any of these, he'll attach in some cases, but he doesn't, like he can't get off. I am now stuck. I can go. slow-mo, basically, just because I can. And I can make it crash, apparently. Or freeze entirely. I think I made it freeze. Or the compiling made it freeze. I was going to have to exit out of it anyway because of those shenanigans. Why is the camera down here? What the heck? All right. Alrighty. Why are you down here? Could you just... Could you go back to where I was in the viewport here, please? There we go. Let's try to get this to play again. Okay. So like all of those basically are really glitchy. They all kind of have the same issue. Those sort of blue tubes over there are supposed to be vents you can crawl into. And then you're supposed to be able to hide in that. Neither of those things are working quite right. It does recognize that I'm like trying to interact with it, because that's why it's putting that little text in the upper corner. And the same is true of this guy, but you can kind of just walk through it. It doesn't have any of the... It's not detecting it properly, basically. The thing I find the funniest is this is supposed to be a narrow wall, like a narrow gap that you can squeeze through. And it kind of works. You do enter it properly sometimes. Apparently not this time. Which is kind of funny. Why is he choosing not to this time? It's funny. All right, let me try again and go straight to that one. Because it definitely worked the other day when I tested it again. I was showing this to someone else. So... Oops. Some of it is the glitchiness of the other engine compiling in the background. It is absolutely eating my frame rate alive right now. Hello, engine. There we go. There he goes. So yeah, so like it kind of works, but this is not correct. This is not. There's a problem here, and you can't get out. You're stuck now. You just live in the wall now. Hi, Zoomers. I'm just gonna, instead of saying that entire name, I'm gonna call you Zoomers. Hopefully that's okay. I recognize that username too, so you're also here from Discord. Yeah, so this one is broken. It's very broken. Nightbot, why did... It thought you spammed caps, but you were trying to do emojis. Can I... Why did it... Is it... Oh... I see why it thought you were spamming caps. That emoji has caps in it. Nightbot's a little bit overzealous. Can I undo that and let it show? I'm trying to like get it to let you show that emote, but Nightbot's being Nightbot apparently. I tell you what, Nightbot, we already have Streamlabs bot in here doing things. Why don't we have you chill out, Nightbot? You know what? We will turn that off. We will turn that off. we'll do that. Okay, I already have Streamlabs in here acting as moderator, so I'll just more or less disable Nightbot. It's only going to go after I think links. So there's kind of two things happening here. I'll go back over what I was explaining to Cheesy Doots when they came in. So I have a solo project I was working on, like, for a long time, actually, but kind of had to, I probably glitched out for a second there. But as far as I can tell, the stream is still up, maybe? Give me a second. Technical difficulties. Okay, it should be working again. Sorry, I kind of glitched the whole thing for a minute there. It should be fine now. So I have a 2 PC setup for exactly that kind of thing happening. And so the good news is the stream generally shouldn't go down as long as that computer and my internet are fine. But it can get glitchy because this main computer is still like providing the initial audio so that I can hear stuff. So the audio can go glitchy for a bit. But the other issue is here recently, I've had problems with the network on this main computer freaking out. So I'm not 100% sure what the cause was, but we're still good. The other problem was, and this was what I was about to explain, this is an old project that I had stopped working on while I was getting my bachelor's degree. So I haven't opened it in like a year, and there were some problems with it. It was a sort of a Resident Evil 4 in particular style horror game was the target. And so what I was doing here was having to rebuild the engine or rebuild the project so we could open it and look at it and even see what state it's in, because I kind of left it way early on. I mean, everything here would be like basically test work. So if I have to start over again, it's not a big deal. And what you were looking at when we first came in, which is what's in this thing, this was another project where I was sort of testing out ideas to eventually implement, or to replace some of the initial attempts of similar things with. So this was a newer version of the project, basically. So we're going to find out. One of the things I was probably doing that was causing the whole thing to freak out is I was trying to get it to build this and run another copy of the engine all at the same time. The computer was not happy about that, and I think decided to inform me of that by freaking out. But the good news is I think we're stable again, and we may just kind of sit here and vibe for a bit while this thing decides to finish compiling rather than making my computer angry. Let me see if I can get the music back. Can we have music again? Come on now. How are we feeling about that music? Can we have music again? No? No music? Not working? Maybe? Yes, no? I don't think I can decide. There it goes. It's gonna probably jump around a bit because I clicked it a bunch of times. You know, the solution to making everything in IT working, click it more. So, but I have what I could show, I guess. It's going to flashbang you guys. I'm so sorry. I have this dark screen here, but there's no way to make this dark mode. This was sort of my design document. Can we make this dark mode? Please, Google. Is this a thing that you can do? Please tell me this can be dark mode now. Did you guys ever add dark mode to Google Sheets? No? This is just not a thing we have here? We don't believe in dark mode? Great. Awesome. Ugh. Apparently no dark mode. I was kind of hoping that maybe they'd added dark mode. I know, it's awful. You know what? Can I... I know what I'll do. I'll open it as a PDF, and that should allow me to open it in dark mode. Give me a moment. I will save your eyes in case I have to flashbang you again while I do this. No, you were supposed to open in Acrobat, you fool computer. I probably could, but the whole UI would still be bright. So, actually, I have an easier solution to this. Just a moment. That should do it. Yes, no, maybe. Yeah, I think that's working. Let's set that a little more. Oh, it's warming. Okay, this should be better. It's still going to be on Google Sheets. I have warmed the colors for you guys. And in fact, let's try. We don't want brighter. Let's do dim incandescent. We'll switch it back over when we're back in the engine where things can be a little more color appropriate. So this should look better for you guys. Is this easier on the eyes? And thank you for the follow, Zoomers. You guys let me know if I need to adjust this color some more or if it's easier on the eyes now. Are our eyes good now? Are we good? Yes, no? Thumbs up, thumbs down? I'm assuming that this coloration feeds through for you guys. It should. But I've actually never used this on stream before. Because I'd be happy to kill some time talking through the plan for this particular project and what it's about. I just want to make sure you guys aren't going to get blinded by that document while we're waiting on the nice dark mode programs to finish what they got to do. Cool. So this was, and actually, as of the time that, I said Resident Evil 4, of course I was referring to the original, but at the time, what kind of led to this was the RE2 remake, because that was kind of when I started planning this, was when the RE2 remake was coming out. So sort of the influences for this thing were going to be RE7 and Outlast, but then specifically going for the Resident Evil 4 style gameplay, which at that point had been implemented into the RE2 remake, which was why but in a modern way, which is why I had sort of cited that one. I think at this point it would still be RE4. And then even though this game is a 2D game, there's a game in particular that I have taken some inspirations from in terms of ideas for, there's not really a way to do it in a way that's not spoilery, some themes, we'll say, is a good way to put it, because I haven't directly copied any ideas. Is called Uncanny Valley, and you can actually get it on Steam. So Uncanny Valley, it's a little 2D horror game, and it's like a survival horror base, much like a Resident Evil game, but in like a side-scrolling 2D kind of way. And I think I'm gonna do this without audio because I don't know, I don't want to get copyright claimed by them. let's see. Can I play this in a way that's... So... Come on, Steam. So... Here it goes. So one of the things that it's really flashy on this. Yeah, you know what? That's probably flash banging you guys in a way. I see that happening over there on the... It very much takes the place of like a Silent Hill, a Resident Evil kind of thing, but it's like set in winter, which is one of the things I want to work with. I want to kind of set the game in wintertime because it'll be a little more cold, a little more oppressive when you are outside. And there's some like biomechanical things going on. That's kind of the hints to the name Uncanny Valley. And there's also like they play with dreams, like what's real, what's not. But this is it's a game that sort of inspired some of this. So, excuse me. The people have given it mixed reviews. It's actually news to me. I'm not sure why people don't like it. What? I guess people are saying it's a little expensive for what it is. Personally, especially nowadays, I would say $10 is not that expensive for what you get out of this thing. It was released back in 2015. But it is, I found pretty interesting. And it was one of the inspirations. Originally, I actually intended for this to be a 2D game along those lines. Unfortunately, pixel art is not my thing. I can 3D model, I can animate, at one point I could draw. I haven't drawn in a very long time. But pixel art has never been my thing. So I moved away from that and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to what I know. So I kind of liked the puzzle solving, and it's got a lot of optional story content to it. So it's almost got like a choose your own adventure style situation, not in the sense that that it has so many endings, but just that there's a lot of different ways to get to your endings. So One Man's Poison, which is tentatively what I'm calling it, it actually borrows, and I can get into this in a minute, it borrows its name from an indie film that I helped work on. I know the director for it, and I helped do some of the special effects for it. And so he's let me use the name and a few of the character names. So it was going to be a third-person adventure horror game following a detective on a missing persons case. And he ends up trying to investigate a supposedly abandoned mental hospital. And during the process of that, the sort of fabric of his reality seems to fray, and he starts to wonder what's real and what's not. So he has to try to figure out how he got there and how to get out. I don't want to completely... There are some twists, and some of the twists are in this thing. Dang it. Memento. I swear, freaking technical weirdness on this one computer is it glitching out again. Okay, at the very least, all that should happen now is we'll lose music. I should still be able to keep talking going forward. So yeah, there's some like probably significant plot points in here. There's a multiple persona doctor kind of running the show in here, this kind of thing. There's a bunch of stuff I didn't write in here. And I was also aiming for a number of accessibility features. I'm going to try to use or have the option to turn on the, there's an open dyslexia font that I was going to have available for people to use if they have trouble. Just to kind of make it more accessible to play. Turn the music back on from where it glitched out. Did this thing ever finish? No, it's still doing its thing. But it's also worth noting that this isn't the only thing I've been working on, because like, it's not the only thing that occupies my time. I also have a like an indie studio I'm trying to form up. So I've got some colleagues of mine that we're sort of teaming up. There's a couple of us, and we are working on a Souls-like that is themed around shadows and alchemy, like light versus shadow and alchemy. So we want to have like some light mechanics where you play with like illumination in an area to reveal secrets and that kind of thing. And it was themed off of a game jam that we never got to really partake in, but we decided to kind of go all the way with it. I'm going to disable that for now since we're back on the dark mode here. And it is... we haven't done much more than sort of start planning that. We started planning it for the game jam, and then had a bunch of stuff come up and we couldn't participate. So we're supposed to meet after the new year to iron out the details, and then we'll start working on that. That one actually, I would hope, will move along faster than One Man's Poison, simply because there's 3 of us working on it. But we're looking at it being more akin to Bloodborne, since Bloodborne has yet to see a PC release. We're looking at bringing something closer to Bloodborne to PC. And that one, I don't want to blind you again. Give me a moment. Let's let the colors shift again here real quick. Come on. Start warming. You gotta change colors faster there. Okay. Give me a second to open this. So again, there's not really going to be a lot here because we got to change a lot of this. But this is what our documentation is so far for the Souls-like, which is called Umberforge. And it's going to be like the idea of forming things out of shadow. So one of the things we're working with is the idea that you can effectively make your weapons using alchemy. Like you can get resources to craft weapons, but those weapons, the weapons you make from alchemy, are sort of crude weapons, so they don't last very long. They'll break. And so you're better off finding weapons from your enemies. And we also have some ideas for some light puzzles, and some stealth mechanics. but we just gotta get a lot of this ironed out. We were kind of looking at like, of course, Dark Souls and Bloodborne, specifically looking at kind of building the characters, the character around like the Warlock class from Dungeons and Dragons, in that they're sort of bound to a mysterious power or being. And then, of course, because we're dealing with alchemy, we kind of looked at like Full Metal Alchemist for some ideas. That was the theme for that game jam, was Shadows and Alchemy. It was the 15th Pirate Software Game Jam. It was during the summer. So we are looking at continuing this, and hopefully it'll come along a little faster since there's more than one. And ultimately, if we finish this, if this goes well, we'll probably all switch over and work together to finish the other one. But we've got some ideas for how to handle the respawn mechanics. So yeah. This thing is just taking its sweet time to build. I don't think I'm actually going to get to work on anything with it today. But I appreciate people hanging out and talking. I definitely appreciate the new followers. That gets us even closer to being able to apply for affiliate. I think I'm still... I mean, I know percentage-wise it's up there on the screen what I need, but I think even once I hit that, I think I have to get my viewer ratio up, I believe. I think is what it is. It's... Yeah, the average viewers has to increase. But we'll get there. I've got a long Christmas break ahead of me where I won't be working, so I'll be off work, so I'll probably stream more often. I'll stream again tomorrow in sort of the same time slot, but tomorrow is a game night. I'll be playing a game. I'll be playing a game that is not what it seems on its surface. So it's kind of a surprise. I think I can think of a couple people that are excited to see it. So that's going to be tomorrow around that same time slot. Man, I wish I knew how long this was going to take. Jeez. I mean, I've built this thing before, but it's been a minute. And then if you have interest in other types of development stuff that I've done, the yesterday's stream, the past 2 days actually, but I don't recommend going back to look at Tuesday's VOD because the audio was messed up. I been working on a website that's going to be for that game studio. So we're going to have a functioning community site I've been building from scratch. So I got like a forum, an old school forum that we'll have going, and building a project management tool that we're going to use internally. And if it works well, we're going to release that open source so that other game developers can use it. In fact, change color. Let's do this so we don't blind everybody. Let's open this. I can show you something that's got a lot of code. It's not a game, but I can show you something with a lot of code. Are those dolphin emojis? They look like dolphins. Hype cool. All right. Yeah, we'll run that in a second. Man, this stream might as well have been titled Watch Visual Studio Compile the Game. That's about all it's done the whole time. The stream has been live for an hour and a half, and it has been compiling that entire time. Pretty much. Save for like the first 10 minutes. This is why I preferred being a designer and never really originally wanted to be a programmer. I always spend a lot of time waiting when you code. Let's see. Aw, snap, 96%. It might be almost done. I think it finished. It sure did, and it succeeded. So, disable the coloration here. Let's see. Not what I wanted. Let's see if we can open it. Can you go to Explorer, please? That's not the folder I wanted, but sure. All right, let's try to open it and let's see what state this thing is in. I suspect it is in a very broken one. Nope. It was trying to open. What did it do? Is it hiding behind all the... Yep, okay, it's just back here hiding. It was hiding from us behind all of the other windows. Now it gets to compile shaders. So I get to wait a little longer. There's a lot of hurry up and wait in programming, if you're not familiar. That's what I like to call it anyway. You know, the funny thing is that Twitch seems to say that I'm 35 out of 50 followers, but I think it also keeps telling me that an unknown user follows me, which makes me think that at least one of those is a bot, that it's not counting. So, because there's one page that if I look at it, the number's one lower. So I don't know if they're pulling numbers out of their asses or what they're doing on that front. Oh well, it's just taking its time on that front. I assumed that thing would be done by now. Okay, Unreal, you have been sitting at 45% with your shaders for a while. Can you quit sitting there fondling your balls and let's move this along? I don't think that number's moved in a bit. The little loading dots are about the only thing that tells me that thing's not frozen. Okay, that's still muted. There it goes. It's doing something. Oh, good. You went back up to over 1,000. That's great. Can you move it along just a little bit? Unreal, I think you're lying to me about that 45%. Are you making up numbers? Oh, we're up in the 50s. It's moving along. And making blooping noises at us again. %. We're getting there. Need to come up with something to like do with the stream when we're waiting on compiling. If I had enough time so far to set it up, start to set up like games you guys can play in the chat or something. I don't think you guys get points for this channel yet for watching. Because I'm not an affiliate. I don't think you guys get points or anything yet. But might be able to do like a with your Streamlabs, I might be able to do like a they have like stream bosses and like a way for you to play games in chat. I'll have to look at that on my Streamlabs thing. Because I think they do have a way for stream to play games and stuff. Is it this? Game widget. Yeah, they can play like tic-tac-toe or chat words. I mean, that's kind of boring, but it'd be something. Spin the wheel. I think media share would be a terrible idea. Opening up media share sounds like an awful idea. I mean, so my channels have actually been, and this is including YouTube, have actually been dead for almost a decade at this point. I actually started trying to make content and stream about 8 or 9 years ago, when I was working on my associate's degree, actually. And I kind of was putting way too much time into it. It was actually kind of a problem at the time. And I made some videos on YouTube and that kind of thing. They're all pretty cringeworthy at this point. But then I had to move. I moved to somewhere with really terrible internet. And so between that and school and then doing a bachelor's degree, I just didn't produce anything for the better part of 8 years. So finishing up stuff back in March and finally starting to have like free time to work on things that I like to do, I decided I would try to get back to it. And so I started streaming again about a month ago, kind of at this point. And I mean, I think I had 22 followers from when I started. And so, I mean, those 22 probably haven't come back to view it. I doubt they even are necessarily active accounts in many cases. I know 1 or 2 of them have come back to view. And they're kind of the same deal with YouTube, actually, is that YouTube, I only had maybe 20 or so, and it's gone up. I think it's at about 30 subscribers or something right now. But I also started, which they weren't a thing back then, I started posting shorts from streams. Like I've done some gaming streams so far in the past month. And I've started posting shorts directly to YouTube about those. And I mean, they're not turning numbers, and the grind over there is even harder. But the fact that this channel went from dead to, like, I think it's getting a few thousand views, all on shorts pretty much, but like a few thousand views per day is definitely not terrible, I would say. I mean, I don't have quite, I'll tell you what, we're still kind of waiting on this here, so I will give you a little peek behind the curtain over here. Where is it? This. I need this. No, I don't want it. Go away. There we go. I want capture a region. You're giving me a countdown. Actually, don't. No, stop it. Analytics. Don't need the time delay. So I'm going to show you a screenshot of the last 28 days on my channel. Give me a second here. And I also want to do a screenshot of this. Yeah? Okay. Cool. So I was hoping that this would be more dark mode than it is. It's a little bright, but can you, there we go. So this is kind of showing you, like, this channel was dead for 8 years. And then I did like a live stream back in November. Didn't really pull anything. It was more of a test than anything else. But I started posting shorts and streaming again actively. And it just spikes up. And pretty much all that shorts. I mean, I don't know that anybody's going back and watching 8-year-old YouTube videos. And I mean, most of my long form stuff, like I'm not cracking in huge views on the streams over there, but the shorts are doing pretty well, given again that this channel was dead for 8 years. So but you got to get like 500 subscribers and like, I think it's like 1,000 watch hours or something in 30 days to 3,000 watch hours or 3 million shorts views and 500 subscribers to in like the last 90, 3,000 in the last year or 3 million in the last 90. So you got to get a lot to hit even the base level eligibility with YouTube. So it's not really even like something I'm shooting for at the moment. I'm mostly just targeting this affiliate thing but just kind of throwing things at YouTube. YouTube is at least kind of casually building something over there, even if it's not much. So I think it may be finally about to launch. Watch me do all this and the project's empty. Like there's a bunch of stuff missing from it or something. It'd be rage inducing. But I also think I'm kind of at a disadvantage because like I'm gonna say I'm old by internet standards, but I'm getting there. So I don't know that the younger viewers are wanting to necessarily come watch an older guy program. So I don't play a lot of the super trendy games. We did play Path of Exile 2 recently when it launched. I think that's what drew in some viewers. All right, can we finish loading here, please? Just taking your sweet time to load that, aren't you? Oh, it crashed. Great. Awesome. Love to see it. Fantastic. We waited all that time and it crashed. In fact, I think it has crashed so hard. There it goes. There it goes. Let's see. Is it saved logs? Can we determine why you crashed by chance? That'd be 856. That'd be this guy. All right. Right. Why did you crash? Fatal alert. No, go away. Platform failed. Set clipboard data failed. Huh? Log time machine. I'm hoping it'll be much faster this time because it's not having to do all that stuff all over again. But I suspect it's going to crash again, and then I'll have to try to figure out why it's crashing. I have a suspicion as to which plugins are probably causing it to crash. Because I've had problems with some specific ones in the past, but I gotta see if it crashes again before I can fiddle with any of this, or I'll make it angry. Come on. Come on. Can we get you to open? Or are you going to crash? Crashing, is it? Is that what we're doing? It certainly feels like that's what we're doing. This feels like a good hard crash to desktop. Yep, there it goes. Alright, so we're going to kill that. I'm fairly certain I know who the problem children are because I've had problems with you before. Let's see. You're a problem child. You're a problem child. Pretty sure you guys are problem children. One of you doesn't work, but I don't remember which one. Things just moved on my other screen. Like something was happening. There's no new event. I don't know what that was. That was weird. Any other problem children I know of off the top of my head? I think those were all the main ones that were known to be a problem. Let's try to launch it now. I'm guessing you guys are just enjoying sort of vibing and lurking there. More than any other. Yeah. Load. Cross your fingers. It's at least nice having the company in chat. Even if we're not saying much. And there's not much happening. I try to keep some at least casual background music going. Uh-oh, Cheesy, you stream Stardew Valley. I will have to let my fiance know. She likes watching Stardew Valley playthroughs. Or maybe you haven't played it recently, but it shows it recent on your profile. Last month, it looks like, I guess. Okay. I was over investigating the games you stream on my other monitor. Now, I shall investigate Zoomers. What does Zoomers play? Recently played Indiana Jones, according to this. One Up Charlie. Yo, man, I haven't chatted with you in about 10 years. Hope you've been well. One Up Charlie. I'm trying to think if I recognize that username. Hey, it looks like the project actually opened this time without crashing. So that's good. Let's see. One Up Charlie. Garrett. Oh, that answers that. I would not have deduced that from your username. Yeah, no, that's been a very, very long time. And at this point, I suspect it's been more than 10 years. You might be trying to make us out to be younger than we are. Oh, we only have 8,300 shaders to compile now. Not one of the triplets, the other one. Okay. All right. I'm on the same page. I wondered after I said that. I was like, why would he use Charlie? That makes sense. I mean, either way, you're still talking like, I think it's been more than 10 years. I don't know that I've seen anyone from, other than a couple people from high school since graduation. Which would be like 14 years ago at this point. Well, in case you're confused, because you're seeing other chats on the screen there, this is being simul-streamed to Twitch. And so I have both chats on my screen. And that's what's going through the stream feed. But you're probably the only one on the YouTube side, unless there's some people that aren't talking. YouTube channel doesn't really get a lot of views. But we're working on shooting for affiliate status on Twitch. Just got to get a little further on that. All right, well, we can close that now. Now, why did you take so long to open? I mean, I haven't opened this project in a long time, but there should be Oh, good. Excuse me. You took that long to open, and you appear to be empty. I appear to have emptied this entire project out, and yet it's compiling so many shaders. What shaders are you compiling? Are you compiling package files that are in the main engine? Is that what you're doing? Why would you do this to me? Well, I guess on the one side, I don't have to start from scratch. One positive side, I don't have to start from scratch because it's empty. It was an old project and it's empty. So I guess I can start configuring it as a new project. And then I can work on moving the stuff from that test project into this one. Let's see. So we need... I want the actions features. Yeah, I've been well. Finished up a bachelor's degree back in March to add to my education repertoire, and I work by day as a software developer, and then still do roughly the same thing as a hobby. So, you know, I don't seem to know how to have hobbies that are not also more work. But maybe streaming will help change that to some degree. And then I got a house last year, and I got engaged in October. So I'll be getting married in the spring, I think is the current plan. I want the flocking system. I don't need any of that. I want that. We don't need the Android device stuff right now. I don't need any of that. Turn that on. We don't need any of the Apple stuff. I don't really think I need Ascent, but we'll keep it in there for now. That's fine, that's fine. Let's see. Don't need any of that. We can use that. Those are good. I don't need WebSockets. I don't have any network connectivity planned. Okay. Don't need that. Got chaos. Physics are good. Character AI. C-line integration. We do want the volumetric clouds. I don't really think I need the combo graph, but that might be useful. And then we want that. Don't really need. Oh, okay, then fine. Content browser. Let's see. I think this one's going to conflict with another one, but we'll turn it on. We need the enhanced code flow. And faction system will be good. I could turn those off. Don't need those. Right now, at least. That's good. Yeah, full body IK is good. Game link. I don't think we really want that. Don't need the haptic stuff. Houdini's fine. Don't need iClone. Inventory system. this Magic Leap nonsense can just be scrolled past because it's all terrible. Not doing any mixed reality stuff. In display. Don't need the network debug stuff. Let's see. Don't need any of that. I don't remember which plugins those are, to be honest. Which one is that? Oh, that one's been deleted. This one. Okay, so I don't need those right now. Screen space fog is good. Let's see. I don't remember which of those two are supported, but for right now we won't worry about it. Visual Studio. Don't need voxel. Got that. Widget Studio. Let's see. What am I doing? So I am setting up a project because turns out we spent a bunch of time debugging a problem with a project I had not worked on in over a year, and determined that it turned out I had restarted it at some point. So it was actually empty after all that effort. So we're starting over from scratch on it, but I'm working on a solo project for a Resident Evil 4 style horror game, like survival horror game. So I'm getting the project set up right now to work on that. And that should be what I want turned on for there. So we're gonna have to let that rebuild. I hate when this music track plays. It is annoying. Let's skip that one. I do actually, so I don't do game programming for a living. That's a side hobby, but I am a web developer, like a web and application developer for a living. So I have an associate's degree in simulation and game design, and I have a bachelor's degree in software development. Oh, good. Oh, good. You want to compile again? Great. That didn't take a million hours last time. Can you do it quickly? Let's see. Development server Win64. Yeah, so normally I'm working on like PHP, so I'm doing stuff like this. This is not one of my for work projects. This is another side project, but I'm writing like websites and stuff usually, web applications. We do have some like data science style people that work at the same company, but I actually have been going for like 2 hours and I need a bathroom break. Actually, almost 2 hours and 40 minutes. So yeah, I need a bathroom break. I'm going to put you guys on the BRB screen for like 2 or 3 minutes and I will be back real quick. Apparently I did not set that timer for long enough, but I am back. Okay. Should have set that timer just a couple minutes longer. All right, did this thing, it did. It succeeded while I was gone. That's good. So we can try to open it. And since I'm assuming you still can't hear me, Ambrosia, I am back now. No, I was talking to my moderator there in chat. She had sent a message saying she was at work, so she can't actually hear the stream. Now, I just compiled those. What do you mean? I just compiled those. Why are you complaining that they need to be recompiled? No, I was specifically calling out Ambrosia in chat. She had just popped in right as I was stepping away for break, in case she was suddenly hearing me. But I also replied to her in the chat. So, but thank you for letting me know you guys can still hear me and that I didn't somehow ruin my audio while I was gone or something. Okay, why are you okay? All right, Visual Studio, what can we do here? Let's... I really don't want to rebuild the whole engine. That sounds like a nightmare. But I feel like that's what it's going to make me do. Oh, no, it was already open. Oh, no. Oh, no. I forgot. I had not closed it. Okay. That was about to be a disaster. All right, well, then I can't believe I'm going to say this, but rebuild the whole solution. Maybe it'll go faster this time. It spent the first hour and a half, 2 hours of the stream compiling, so we had to do other things to distract ourselves. Normally, I spend more time doing web programming, so building websites and stuff. This is actually a project that I was streaming yesterday, where I'm building a community website for the indie studio that I'm trying to form. So I'm building like a website that has it'll have like a blog and a forum and that kind of thing. I'm building it from scratch. So it's being built in PHP with a package called Laravel. I would open it, but it's it doesn't have a dark mode, so it would blind. It would be like a flashbang for you guys. It would blind you guys, especially being on this dark mode for as long as we have at this point. So I'm hoping this will go relatively quickly. You can handle the light mode. Well, I suspect I'll do it. I suspect we're going to have at least one or two people from earlier in the stream that are going to complain. But sure, we'll do it. Let's see. We'll show you what's working so far. I need... Let's see here. Okay, so... Yeah, okay. I gotta get it to update. This is running the version of the project that I had yesterday. So give me just a second here. I thought I was gonna have to run these real quick. I tend to work on this on my laptop during the day, and so then I have to come back here and get everything synchronized back up. Oh, what's it mad about? Permission denied. I can fix that. Let's see. It's complaining about the public folder. So we'll just make the public folder. Change ownership. Because it's probably just got some directory in there that's gone all wonky. Ah, crap. Change ownership. New data. Change. All right, let's try this again. Let's see, is it still unhappy or will it load now? And this is not a live website, so you're not able to like go to this to see it yourself. It's just running here on my server. So since I am running scripts in the background there, it's probably going to freak out on us here in a minute. Right now, this is all just junk here, but what I've been working on from scratch is the forum. So you'll be able to actually come in here and make posts and communicate, get support on issues just like you would. For a long time, I used to use like WordPress and stuff, but WordPress has a lot of drama around it right now. So I decided to just build one. So this was what I was doing yesterday. And in fact, I currently am loading the changes that have been made to it since then, which are in here. So then we should probably run npm run build. And it's probably not going to look drastically different. Because right now, yeah, so this guy's not different. Right now, this guy is not loading the way he's supposed to. We'll put it that way. He is supposed to. Where is it? It's right now it's just running on a MySQL database. Theoretically though, because of the way Laravel works, it could be run on a number of different things. It has, let's see, I think out of the box, Laravel can do MySQL. I think it can do Postgres. It can also do I'm changing that. That's another one of those obnoxious songs. Can you move along? There we go. It can also do, oh, what are the other languages or the other database architectures it can do? It can do like a local file, which you pretty much only do for like testing. I think by default, it defaults to the SQLite file, basically like a local thing. But yeah, it's just running on a MySQL database. I have a server rack at my house, just with like some pretty old servers in it, and then I just run. Let's see. So then, like, I'm just running a web host software on this server here at my house, so then I can pull up the files or the databases and access them easily whenever I need to. Yeah, I mean, I don't even use the SQLite for this, like for the development here. I just do it on MySQL because that's usually what I deploy anyway. I know it's not the fastest one in the world, but it's the one I know how to work with. And given the smaller load that I would expect on it, I'm not too worried about it. Maybe at some point in the future, I'll have to deal with like load balancing and stuff, but for this, I kind of doubt it. So let's see, did it finish what it was doing? Probably not. Let's see. Right now, there were some changes I made earlier because I've got TinyMCE, which is like a WYSIWYG content editor that was loading over this successfully as of this morning, and I was using that. And then I was trying to implement a user mention system where you could tag users, and that worked. But then I tried to scale it up another level where when you would type it would let you search users. And so I started tying in another JavaScript library. And so now neither of them load, but I'm not getting any errors. So I don't actually know where the problem lies, and I'll have to undo what I was doing. Let's see, you still building over here? Build started, project patch tool. Yeah, you're still building over here. I don't think that's going to be done anytime soon. So we'll stick to talking about this for right now. Gives us something to talk about. Where is my script file? You're in here somewhere. This guy should be able to at least load TinyMCE if we do this. And actually, I'm curious about something. Let's do this. Because it says it's loading this file, but I don't believe it, I guess is the way to put it. Despite the fact that it's clearly there, I kind of feel like there's something going wrong with it on where is it? There it is, Content Editor Blade. So let's do that. And then let's take this out. Let that upload over to the server. recompile that. And let's see if this loads. Maybe it'll actually give me an error doing it this way. I'll take an error at this point. An error is at least is progress. No, you can't give me an error. Yeah, so, okay, let's see. It was originally... This, I think, was all that was in there to get it going. Let's see. I believe. I could be mistaken, but I believe that was all I needed in here to get it going before. How are we doing over here? Just chugging along. And I will be live again tomorrow in this kind of same time slot from about 7 p.m. Eastern till probably about midnight. So actually, I'll run later tomorrow because I'm actually probably here in the next half hour going to have to wrap up for tonight. But I'll be live potentially a lot longer, at least probably till midnight tomorrow Eastern. And tomorrow, Fridays are going to be game night. So I've got a game planned that is not what it seems on its surface, and we'll put it that way. So it should be interesting if people want to come to see that. But Tuesdays and Thursdays are generally going to be development days. I was live yesterday, but that was kind of an oddity. And what I work on each day will kind of vary. All right, it is still running. It is... Does it have any guesstimates? Oh, it's at 4% now. It started actually building the project. Great. Awesome. Love that. Okay. Let's just refresh that then. Maybe it's cached the JavaScript and see what that does. No one cares. Honestly, it doesn't matter. I just need to click on one of these. Okay, so that's still... I wonder... Check on GitHub and see if I can tell what is different about that one. See if I can find what the problem was or the difference. Let's see, that's going to be resources, views, components, content editor, right? History. This one. Yeah. Oh, I might have just figured out what the problem was. I didn't copy something over correctly when I was making those changes. But the rest of that looks fine. No, don't tell me it's been this guy the whole time. I might have been dumb, guys. I might have done it dumb. All right. Admittedly, that would be a problem. Because I'd have to pass that ID. But what if we just do all of this inline as a test? And I can deal with passing the ID later. What about that? That would be great, yeah. Text CV. Okay, now here's the question. What happens? Okay, so it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, but it also doesn't break. So because the hope was that it would pop up a little search UI for that. But that could be an asynchronous thing, because originally this script was supposed to load asynchronously. Let's try this in the JavaScript file then. And try to load it asynchronously and see what happens. Let's see. Send the file. Okay. Oh, I gotta build it. I gotta build it. I gotta build it. I gotta build it. I almost did a dumb. Okay. Well, it didn't work. But it also appears to have been able to keep the data in there, which is interesting. Does it work like this? No. Okay. So it's not even that it's separate. It's just not working at all. Which is cool. That's fine. Yeah, it doesn't like something. What are you mad about? Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. I didn't have it set up for that. That's about right. Because I don't have it set up for it to pass that as data. So what if we load this as a defer, but keep it here in the body? Good old code compiling. Okay, is the other one done? It sure looks like it is. So, run build. Okay, so that part works. But no obvious sign of it searching for anything. Can it tell me what it's mad about? Wait a minute. I was doing a dumb again. I'm not connecting the two. Where the hell is that code? It was on the GitHub version where I committed it. And that can go away. Let's take a look at this thing, see how it's doing. It is not even wanting to tell me. 22%. So that is still going to take a hot minute. I don't know. That's just why I prefer web development. It's so much more like instant. I get feedback on it. I'd say prefer. I do actually enjoy doing game development. I just have less patience for it. And more when it comes down to like the compiling. Like if I didn't have to do this semi-frequently with the engine, it probably wouldn't bother me so much. In editor, the stuff's not terrible. Yeah. It's chugging along, though. Okay, so that finished that. So I don't need to run another build, but I'll run one anyway. And then let's see if this worked. What are the odds? No, I mean, I know if I post it, it works. It just doesn't actually do the search. It doesn't tell me if it's actually upset about something, if there's something that's not working. I know TinyMCE has its own mention search system thing, but that's a paid feature. And I don't feel like paying them monthly for something that I'm going to self-host. Well, there is no way that this thing is going to get done before the end of my night, before I go to bed. I do have to work tomorrow. It's only at 33% for the engine build, so this will probably stay running. I can't really stream too much longer. We're already at about 3.5 hours. But I will be on tomorrow for a game night with a surprise game that definitely is not what it looks like on its surface. It's definitely got a surprise to it. As long as you don't check the Steam page. The tags kind of give it away. But we'll have that kind of in the same time slot, around 7 Eastern, be when we start. And I'll go, we may have to play more than one game. I don't actually know how long this game is going to be, but I'll go till probably at least midnight Eastern. I don't know for sure, but that's kind of what I have on my schedule. And so then Tuesdays and Thursdays will be development days. And then actually over the Christmas break and stuff, I'll be off work. So I may stream a little more during that time frame, just because it kind of motivates me to work on stuff a little more so than sitting here by myself. So if just kind of chilling out, programming, listening to kind of casual music and stuff is your thing, you can feel free to tune in. You can feel free to lurk. Even if you're lurking, I see you there in the thing. I keep an eye on the viewers. So, I think this is going to pretty much be it for tonight. But I thank you guys for joining me. I thank you for the new follows. I will give Zoomers and Cheese. I'll give you guys some shout outs in the Discord. Make sure everyone knows you guys were showing out to support me here. And thank you for the follows as well. So you guys have a nice night, nice day, whatever it is for you in your respective time zones.